Hey guys, so we're gonna today go over Zillow Preview. I had the opportunity to get a couple of listings, so very excited to use it. And as I was doing it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna screenshot all the steps that I went through to create it. It's pretty simple, but it's the mindset of getting it done. I even thought about because both of my properties were kind of not in the greatest condition and they had a lot of work to do. I even had them maybe sign like a non-dissemination form and do it as an office exclusive for a time being, but just didn't have the opportunity to do that. So I did it. We're allowed to put it in, I believe, 24 hours in advance. So I did, and just wanted to share some of that information. Uh, Two listings when I put it on Zillow Preview 24 hours before it went live. And it was, I think, amazing. But I have to let you know, a little disclaimer, you may not as get as much results because mine was a lot of work that needed to be done. So price reflected that. So I had a really great price on it. So I was getting calls. Out of those calls, I got three direct buyers that contact me directly, and they came to see the property. And then two of them were like, "Oh, I have two properties. I have like a listing." I was like, "Oh, are you renting? And is this going to be your first home?" They had also two listings that possibly they were going to sell. So they're like, "Oh, I have to sell my property." So it was great. I had them sign a buyer's agreement. In this case, I explained the whole situation. I explained some of the processes that we have to go through as buyers, and three places were, just kind of doing a mini buyer's consultation. And by doing that, and I said, "Oh, you guys owned a home before, right?" And so I'm sure realtors had, kind of went over and they were not aware of some of the process, like really simple process, like attorney review, inspection, mortgage clauses. And they really liked that I explained everything. And they were like, I would love for you to list the property. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I was thankful for the opportunity that this platform created. Okay, so that's how you have to go in. I have to say, I had another agent put it in. It was a higher end, and she didn't get much calls, okay, on it. And so it really depends on the property. Sometimes it depends on the market. It depends on where you guys are located. But it's free, and I was willing to put in the work because I wanted to know if that was going to help me, and why not, right? So, having said that, I'm going to go ahead and share. All right, so here's the Zillow preview. So, as you guys know, and I think a lot of people don't know that are in, maybe different REMAXs, but we have talked about it. So, we have a partnership where we have, a collaboration that we have with Zillow. Okay. And it's really listings coming out before MLS. Buyers also can view it. But also my other listing, what had happened was the buyers contacted their agents, right? And they're like, well, my client saw this on Zillow and, I don't see it in them. I was like, oh, we have something. REMAX has something with Zillow. So it's on preview. And they're like, oh, okay. But that's if they have a buyer's agreement, that is what it's supposed to do, right? To protect that agent, and that client contacted the agent. So they were actually, it was vacant. So I'm like, you can show it. I didn't wait until, it went live. I said, sure, because if they wanted to come see it earlier, why not? It was 24 hours earlier. So I was able to do that, and they contacted. And some people ask me, like, why would I do that? Why would I put it on it? Sometimes you want the data, okay? And like Zillow has about 200 million followers, or people that are on their website, and some they collect data and they look at how many days or how many people have seen it. And that sometimes, if you are putting it, let's say, as an office exclusive, and with a non-dissemination form, and you want to test it out, sometimes sellers want to test it out. And sometimes as agents, we want to test it out too, because They think they can get over, $500,000 over market price, right? So why collect days on market? Why don't we put it on Zillow Preview? And that's one of the options that you can do. So it's not just a tool for you to use to, let's say, get, I don't know, extra buyers, but actually it's a tool for you to gain that listing when you're doing that listing presentation. Because guess what? Other companies don't have this, right? So we have that opportunity to just say, hey, if you're not ready and you just want to see, and if you're okay with that, you're going to have limited exposure, but it'll go on Zillow, and let's collect the data and see what kind of reaction we're getting. If we're not getting any calls or, requests to see it, or even, something like this, like a data platform where you can show them, and then that might be a reality check for the sellers and say, okay, maybe we need to put down the price when we go live. So that's an option that you can have and that you can give to them. So it kind of looks like this on the mobile website. It does have that, contact a listing agent, right? And your information is on there. But also on the description, at the bottom, it has my number and the office number. So they do have the opportunity to call the office, but most of them called me, right, for the tour or to get information. And it doesn't cost you anything. Okay, it's free. It's what we have a partnership with, Zillow. And why aren't we not taking advantage of it? Right? It just takes a little preparation, about 24 hours getting that information in, and the process is fairly simple. All right. So Idona had created this great landing page and I have it bookmarked. I also have it on my draft just in case like I don't know how to do it or I forgot. So it's been a while. And I just go there and I was like, okay, what's the website? I forgot, and I go and it's like a step by step of what you need to do. Okay. So this link right here is the landing page. This is not where you go to put in the preview. This is a landing page where you go and you can watch videos or you can see the step by step in case you forgot or you feel lost and there's nobody, to call. So this is actually the website, the link, the URL that you need to go. It's app.zillow/workspace.com. Um, so one thing that I realize is that it sometimes will take you to Dotloop because obviously Dotloop is part of Zillow, and sometimes they do have that website, and they kind of intertwine together. And so when you go in there, it may automatically sign you in as the Dotloop email. Okay. And then create an account for Zillow Pro or, like this preview section, but you're not going to have that free preview ability. Okay. So just if it does automatically put you into that and you see that you don't see it, and I'll show you where it says pre-listing, then that means you're in as the wrong person, meaning like your wrong profile. You have to use your remax.net email. Okay, so that's crucial. All right. Again, it sometimes automatically signs you in. And I had an agent go in and they were like, I don't see the pre-listing section. And we were all confused. And it was because we didn't use the remax.net email. Okay. So when you go in, like any platform that you start, you always want to start with your profile. It's the upper right-hand corner. It has your name on it and it goes to your account. And I will click on that. And then what your account, it has the profile. So just make sure your phone number, your name is there. This didn't have a photo, so I uploaded it. Okay. So always, when you're in a new platform, you will have to go through the profile, make sure all your information is in. So when they do contact you or when, they are looking at you, all of your information is correct. And then the second part below the profile is the MLS, and you have to verify your MLS membership. Okay. And you click on it, and let me show you, see if, let's say you click on it, and they send you a 6-digit code that verifies that's linked to your MLS. So I had like 3 MLSs. I think I only did it for like Garden State and JMLS. And then you get the code from your email and you put it in and they verify. That's all. It's fairly simple, but that's something that you should do. Second thing is that connected experience. What that is if you have a Zillow profile, just connect it. It's just easier because I think all of your, like different platforms in Zillow will be connected. So it just is, I think, makes sense and a no-brainer for you to get that done. And then it takes you here, and then you sign into your Zillow account, and then it kind of connects it and takes you back. All right. So then you save, no problem. I would love that, they would have the text function. It says it's coming soon, so it's not available. So if they do contact you, it'll be like through email or if you have the app. And honestly, I didn't really have anyone email me. They just called me. Okay. So here it is. It's you just add a listing, okay, and you put it in, and you put your information, and of course it comes from Google Map, and then it should populate, and then you add it. And right here, I just want you to make sure, like again, if you're in a automatic account that they created for you for because the dot loop sign in, you won't have this function where it says pre-listing. Okay. So just make sure that you're seeing the pre-listing and that you're in the right account. Okay. And so once the address does get uploaded, you're gonna go here and edit your listing. And it's fairly simple. You just put in the address, whatever information you have, and make sure again, right here, the listing status is on Zillow Preview. Okay. And then I go to the photos. It might have, because I already uploaded it, right? When it comes to the listing detail, sometimes it says upload photo. And honestly, you only need one photo. They don't require you to put like all of your photos from your photographer. So if you have, let's say at that moment you drove by and then you just took like a picture, then you can do that as well. And this is what it looks like. And I wanted to show you right after it got published. You'll see already within like 5 minutes, there was like 61 saves and 43 views. Right. Um, so they get it. The buyers get it because what happens in Zillow if when someone, let's say a consumer, is looking for properties and they normally go to Zillow, they will either, capture their information and, ask them to, create an account or, and they also capture like what they're looking at, the history of what their activity is on Zillow. So when they see that this is something that they're looking at, they actually do send an email out and they kind of do an email blast and saying, "Hey, this is I don't know what it looks like, but they do get like a notification." So, and I think that's kind of the scary and powerful thing about Zillow is how much activity there is on their website. So for us to use this, and again, this price was really good. It's kind of like a fixer-upper. Oh, and I think that's it. All right, so I'm gonna do a live demo. And I also want to put it out there right now because it is live, and they told us in the beginning that you would have to go back and switch it from pre-listing to live. I think it already did that because when I searched it on Zillow, and how I would search it was I put in, let's say, a town, and there's a filter. So let me just show you. Okay, so if I go to Zillow.com. And let's say they do a search right here at the filter, you can see like either coming soon, active. And so if I take this out, then only this, I think this person is Sirhan. I don't know. I think paid for it to be on Zillow, but it's not there anymore because my listing went live. Okay. But when I did it, as soon as I did the Zillow, there was like only three of us. So I know you guys are not using it, and I know other REMAX people are not using it, and the other company that has this function. So I get like, why aren't we using it more? So I do get, excited, and also I want you guys to use it. So it does come up. All right. So I'm not able to show you, but I realized. Okay. So let's say, you add a listing, and I'm just going to put let's say, let's see if it'll let me do the same address. Okay, so it'll let me do the same address. Okay, so, and then you just click. Let me see if it. Oh, so it doesn't let me do the same address. Okay. So let's go back. Um, okay. And so do you see like right here, it's the pre-listing. If you go look here, it's either an active or under contract. But I go into list, edit your listing, and it's fairly simple. You just go and listing status, Zillow preview, let's say expiration date. And listing contract dates. So if you're not completely sure, I knew it where when it was, but you can, it's not a required field. Okay. So I left a lot of the stuff blank, but we're going to show it on the internet. Of course, say yes, property type, it's residential, townhome. It already knows that. It's not a new construction. So you'll see the red asterisk and see which one is, required. And from the tax records, some of the stuff does come up, and you just put the public remarks and interior and exterior. But a lot of it, it's not required. So, you can put the information in and or you can choose not to. Okay. And then you save it. But before I save it, I go into photos. And then you can upload the photos by dropping and dragging and also uploading. And then once you have that, you just upload media. I don't have a photo right now. Okay. And really that's it. And then you just save it. And then it'll say it's been published. I don't want to publish something that I don't have. So and it's just simple. And you just go and it says you get an email saying, "Hey, it's been published." And really, that's it. So it's such a simple process, and you can do that for any listings that you guys are getting in 20. And I think with Garden State, and Fran, can you let me know if it's true? Like, I think you have 5 days or something. Can you do 5 days?
For
Garden
garden,
State, it's 2 24-hour days. Uh,
correct.
2 days, and
Oh,
that
2 days. Yeah, well, I was a little bit confused because I know that Garden State also has coming soon, but when you do coming soon, it's on the MLS. So it has to be a property that's not on the MLS. So with Garden State, you have 2 days, or two 24-hour days. So that's something I would really consider doing, right? So you just never know. And you get the calls and you can actually schedule the showing right away. I think there's a question. Was there a question? No.
Does anyone have any questions?
So when you're on Zillow profile, always, when you're on the regular Zillow and you want your solds and your active listings to show up, just make sure that you go into the profile and your license is updated, your MLS is, verified, your MLS ID numbers, and that's one of the reasons why sometimes it may not your listings may not be coming through. And even then, let's say it doesn't come up, you can actually manually add it and say, I would like to manually add the listings.
Okay.
Okay.
I do
Yeah,
have,
Kenya?
I was just gonna say, so if you're putting this in ahead of it being in the MLS, so I would just assume that you should have like the office exclusive. I heard you mention that you do the office exclusive form, and then that allows you to still show it because it's just you showing it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So okay.
So I almost had it ready, but it didn't end up that way. But yeah, let's say this person is really not ready for, 30 days and they're like when you presented it and they're like, that's very interesting to me. I want to do that. I would have all the listing forms signed with the non-dissemination form, which allows you to market it and send it to the MLS and report that, and then you can put it, on,
You can become active later because I think even in like at least for Bright, you can say when it's going to go live in the MLS, and then okay,
yeah.
fantastic, that's great.
I just would have like proper documentation because you never know. A listing agent, another agent might be like, what the heck? Why isn't this, you know, on there? Okay.
Also, one of the things I just want to add regarding the landing page, not sure if I missed it, but it is on our hub. There is a
Yes.
tile that says Zillow Preview slash Showcase, and there's trainings. And thank you, Mary, for giving me credit, but I did not create the
Oh,
Zillow landing page that was created by REMAX, but thank
oh,
you.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's
Okay.
available. Anyone that's with a REMAX franchise, they would have access to this, but not outside of REMAX. And you do need your REMAX.net email. And they, anytime they have new trainings, new tools, like if they're adding something, it will be on that landing page. So check it out when
And
you have time. Yes, Fran.
and um, just don't go changing your sign in for .loop, because your sign in for .loop is what your sign in for .loop is, and even though it says something about Zillow on there, you are registered with your sign in for .loop the way you've been signing into .loop for the past 2 years or so, whatever. This
Right.
is the different sign in that requires your REMAX email. So don't change it because you won't be able to get into .loop then, so keep
But you
it separate, okay?
connect that's what she was talking about by connecting it to your platform. Is that what you meant, Mary?
No,
It's connecting it to your Premier Zillow platform, right, Mary?
yeah, just
Got
yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm not a Premier account, but yeah, I have a Zillow account. And that's where
Mhm.
like, my Zillow profile is on there, my reviews and things like that. So it took me to that like sign in and then it connected it. But Fran's right. So when it automatically, I had the dot loop open, and then when I try to get into the preview thing that I wanted to do, it opened up a um different account. It's not .loop account. It was the preview account, but it didn't have that pre-listing. So I just went on the profile and I logged out. And then when I logged out, then I used the Remax .net email and then my password that I created. What's the difference between the Premier account and this? So the Premier account doesn't have that function where you can upload the Zillow preview. It's only for Remax. And again, I just think that, our leadership, which is, Idona and Rob, and, has done a really great job of, letting us know all the different news that goes on because you can miss it. I know a lot of like other Remaxes that probably didn't, realize. So it's great. It's great to have all that information. And I don't know who our contact, is it on
So
the
I wanted
landing
to
page?
ask, who is SY? And if you, because there's two different people. If you're looking for the contact person for Zillow Showcase, it's somebody else. If you're paying for Zillow, oh, hi, Serbia. Okay. If you're paying for Zillow leads, then it's a different contact. So are you looking for the Zillow Preview Showcase contact or contact person for Zillow leads? Um, I do have a contact, oh, for Showcase. So yes, there is a person, Yakenya, I will send you their contact information so Serbi can reach out.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you want to sign up, they do ask you that you have to be part of a group. We already obviously have an account. You may just have to send this individual an email saying, please add me to the REMAX Select account. So I'll reach out to your managers so that they are aware. So if you guys need any help with Zillow Showcase or Preview, you can just reach out to your manager.
Perfect. Any other questions?
And by the way, there was one personal question that was just sent to me. Where can you find these recordings? They will always be on the hub. One of the new things that I started doing, we send our newsletter every Monday at 8 a.m., sometimes at 7 a.m. We're going to start highlighting the training from the week prior. So this week's training today, it will be on our newsletter on Monday. So if you missed the session, you can always watch it then. Also, we can have the manager share with you guys if, that's another method we can do. But always on the hub for sure, under masterminds. Showcase, we didn't do, Serbi, the question was on pricing. The Zillow preview is free. Showcase is different. We didn't touch on Showcase. That's going to be another training, but it is $150.
Okay.
Alrighty. Any
Good.
other questions?
The showcase is the 150, but plus then your photos and all that you pay for separately.
Yes. Thank you, friend. That's right. Yeah, it's not just 150. It's 150 plus you have to use a approved photographer, a Zillow approved photographer.